I would like to begin today's program by reciting the words of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda says, education is the manifestation of perfection that is already present in human being. To manifest that perfection at Jaya College of Arts and Science, we have our Honorable Chairman of Jaya Educational Trust, our most respected Secretary Ma'am, our visionary Joint Secretary Madam, our dynamic Vice Chairman Sir, our source of inspiration, our principal and vice principal sir, respected teachers, and our dear students. A very warm good evening to all of you. It is a matter of pride and immense pleasure for all of us to welcome you all in this unique event and orientation program for our first year B.C.A students with a unique title, Not All Classroom Have a Four Walls. Today is a special day for our new students to start world's most beautiful journey, the journey of knowledge and wisdom. And I would like to recite the words of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, in whose memory tomorrow we are going to celebrate Teachers' Day. Dr. Radhakrishnan says, a true teacher are those who helps us to think by our own self. A person who reform, conform, and inform that we can transform the inner potential of our students. To transform our young minds, today we have a unique personality, Sir S. Lakshminarayana, sir, today to grace this event. We are very pleased to have you, sir, in this event, sir. Sir is a senior software developer with 15 years of experience in industry. Currently, sir is working as a technical lead in Applied Materials, Chennai. In academia, sir was a brilliant student throughout his academy. Sir did his Bachelor of Engineering degree from SRM Engineering College, affiliated University of Madras. Sir did PG Diploma in Business Management from IIMT Ghaziabad. Sir, your presence in today's orientation program is real for our department and our students. On the behalf of B.C.A department, I heartily welcome you, sir. We all are eagerly waiting to listen from you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank Ravindra sir and the whole management and staff of Jaya Arts and Science College for giving me an opportunity to speak in front of the young and vibrant students. As you mentioned about Swami Vivekananda, me too, a big fan of Swami Vivekananda and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. It's primarily because they both had a strong belief in youth and their energy. So also have a strong faith and strong belief on the young generations with whom I'm going to speak in front of. I understand from you that most of the students here are first year students who were never
Yes, sir.
been to campus for any formal classroom education. I wish we had a formal face-to-face interaction, but due to the current situation, we are leveraging the technology we have right now, and that's primarily I chose the topic because not all the classrooms have four walls. We have the whole nature to learn. So, for the benefit of the students and the management of Jaya Arts and Science College, I'll try to deliver my speech in English as much as possible, and if needed, wherever I'll use Tamil to narrate any small stories.
Sure, sir.
So, to begin with, let me introduce myself. My name is Lakshminarayana, Satyanarayana. You might be wondering what is his last name. Satyanarayana is none other than my dad. My father's name is my last name here. So that's why I have a lengthy name. I was born exactly 46 years from now in a village which is close to Madhavaram and Redils. So as you mentioned, I did my education school in St. Mary's Perambur, and then I did my engineering in SRM Engineering College between the year 92 and 96. During my college, I used to travel a distance of 50 kilometers. The first 5 kilometers being a bicycle because we have a remote chance of getting a bus to our village. and the next 5 kilometers by local bus, and then the remaining distance are covered by train. During one day, when I was returning from college, I didn't have a bicycle. I had to wait for the bus which goes to my village. It usually takes an hour to come. So in some days, there will be many people whom we know already, were people from my village and the neighboring village. So we have conversation with them. One day, one vegetable lady went there, who also very known to our family member. She was striking conversation with me and was telling about a son who's doing his BA at that time in a college in Chennai. Slowly, she was explaining about his son, and suddenly she asked me a question: "What are you doing now?" Usually, when such question arises, I will say I'm doing third year or second year in my college. The reason is I was the first guy to do engineering, go to engineering college from my village. So I don't want to trouble them giving a big explanation. But this time, since this lady was talking about his son's education, I told her I'm doing my third year in BE. She kept calm for some time and suddenly she asked me, Apo ABCD Murchitiya. She thought that BE is nothing but an extension of BA. So I told her, I started explaining her in detail. I told her BA is nothing but a Bachelor of Arts, a 3 years degree, and B is nothing but a Bachelor of Engineering, a 4 year degree, and I'm specializing in electrical and electronics engineering. I think I explained her too much and I confused her a lot. She immediately asked me a question, and she also told me that ஏதோ நல்லபடியா படிச்சு ஒரு டாக்டர் வேலைக்காச்சும் போ. This brought in a laughter to me for a long time, maybe until a decade. I thought how ignorant she was. How can an engineer become a doctor? But after that, when I met some of my college friends who pursued their post graduation in ME and MTech and then they did their PhD, I understood that the engineer can also become a doctor after they finishing the PhD. This is one of the biggest lessons I learned. Let's not laugh at others. As I mentioned about my college days, I just want to narrate a small incident, a sequence of incident happened in my life and what I learned from it. Sometimes I go in a two-wheeler. We used to have Bajaj MIT at the point in time. Myself and my father will go on this bike. So when we go this 5 kilometer stretch from the main bus stand to my village, it's considered to be a very lonely place and not a safe place as well. Sometimes when we come across any person walking, especially if it is a lady or a girl, my dad will ask me to stop the two-wheeler, and she will ask them where they have to go, where they want to go, and then he will ask me to go and drop them at the respective place, and he will come by walk because we don't have enough petrol to make trips in the two-wheeler. This has happened several times. Many times he asked me to do this. The lady or the girl could be the one we know already, or it could be a stranger. But every time he'll tell me to go and drop them if they go walking alone, and he'll come by walk. It took a long time to understand why he's doing this, and then it became a habit to me. Even after my dad passed away, whenever I go on this route, if I see person walking alone, I made it as an habit to stop and ask them if they need a lift, and I'll go and drop them safely at their place. After a long time, I started understanding, started realizing what he has taught me in this. He never wrote anything on a blackboard, or he never took me to any classroom, or he never preached anything to me. But he conveyed a very important lesson to me that whenever a girl or any lady is walking alone, and if a guy is around, it's not an opportunity for the guy to exploit the situation. It is the responsibility of the guy to take care of the safety and security of the girl. This is a very important lesson I learned from my dad. He never taught me in a formal way, but still, I learned it. Hence, again, I insist on this topic. Not all classrooms have four walls. So, after my college education, when I joined in HCL, my first day in HCL, I was so relieved. I thought, hereafter, I don't need to study at all. All my school days and college days are over. It's enough of reading books, enough of studying, enough of learning. Now I'm going to sit, do work, earn money, and enjoy life. But I was not right. Education never stops until you are dead. You have to keep learning, you have to keep upgrading your skills. So this brought me a lot of scare inside me. What do I need to continue reading? Do I need to continue learning? So when is it going to end? It brought a lot of fear into me, a lot of sadness into me as well. But after some time, I started realizing what is the purpose of life, and my own view on purpose of life is to be happy, and that's what I want to share with everyone. That the whole purpose of life, what I understood, is to be happy, and so it be for everyone. I'm sorry. Can you see my screen? Just hold on. I'm sorry. So having said that, when I have to be happy, it doesn't mean I need to be content with what I have. Yes, I need to be content with what I have now, but I always should look upon like what I'm going to have in future, but without losing my happiness at the current time. We need to be happy in all kind of circumstances. I'm sure everyone, each individual has unique problem, and you believe that is you are the only person having such problem. It could be the problem and issues ranging from personal issues, relationship issues, financial issues, whatever it may be. Let's not spend the whole day worrying about our issues. We can just allocate a very negligible amount of time for our worries, but continue to be happy in our life. And this happiness is going to help you move forward in life and continue and start learning things in life. The next important thing when I talked about learning and being happy, the most important thing to learn is we need to develop curiosity. Be curious at whatever you are interested more, because the curiosity is the very basis of education. You can be curious at anything you like. It could be anything with a right from the gadget or from the nature. If you're interested in a gadget, it could be like you could just start analyzing what do they have in this mobile phone? What is the Snapdragon processor? What is the latest Snapdragon processor they have now? What is the latest Android version we have now? What features they may have the next version of Android? Be curious. As and this curiosity is definitely is a great reason for our happiness. And just want to hint that you have to be curious only with the ideas, not too much on the people. So the curiosity will definitely raise lot of questions inside you. So don't hesitate to ask questions. The more curious you are, more questions you have. But it's an art to ask the right question to the right people. The questions need not be to show your skill of asking questions, but questions should be in such a way to seek an answer for your problems, for your queries. And this question should actually start from within yourself. The best way to question anything is question yourself first. Is it the right words I'm going to use? Is it the right topic I'm choosing? Is it the right person I'm going to ask the question? There could be plenty of questions. Question everything. You can question the same as well. Why? By the way, we don't have an option to have a question and answer session here. So I would love to make you ask more questions if you have any. But since it's a one-way communication, I will continue with my speech here. As I mentioned, the curiosity and asking questions. The next important aspect is listening. Active listening. There are a lot of management topics about this. In fact, there is multiple books, a big book dedicated only to active listening. And I'm not going to talk all those here. The very simple concept of active listening could be to listen with an intent to understand rather than intent to reply. Listen carefully. Listen to find an answer. Empathize people when they are speaking to you, but listen actively. I would like to tell a small story here, which might be related to this topic, or you can relate it as well. There was a successful entrepreneur who felt that he's achieved everything in life. He earned a status, he earned money and everything at a very young age. Now he started questioning himself. What next? To go deeper into the question, what is the purpose of life? What, what is the purpose of life? So he was trying to find answer through many books, and uh, he came across a person who told him that if you need an answer, you have to go and visit a Swamiji, a Guruji, who is in a hill, and it will take a long trek for you to reach that place. And he said, definitely he can answer your queries, and don't miss that opportunity. So he thought, why don't I try this? So he went to that place. He trekked for 2 days. He reached that spot. It was a cave, and there are a few people waiting outside the cave. He inquired with them like, I want to meet the Swamiji. I want to ask him a few questions. And these people said, yeah, he rarely speaks, but there is one condition. He will each day he will answer to one person and one question. And you have to choose your question wisely so that he will give you a very wise answer where you will be satisfied with the answer. So he thought he came to the right place. And he said, can I go and meet him now? He said. And the people around, they said, you have to wait here for an hour. Guruji will be on his own meditation. Once it's done, we will inform you because he doesn't want anyone to be disturbed. He's doing it all alone. You have to wait, and then when he is done with this meditation, I will let you know. You can go inside and ask him just one question, and you'll get the answer, and you can be happy with this answer. He was very excited. Okay, this is the place where I'm going to get my answer. He was still repeating the question himself. What is the purpose of life? He was rehearsing the same question. It might be a single sentence, but still he was rehearsing. He didn't want to miss that. Finally, the people outside they said, "Yeah, now you can go and meet inside the Guruji." As he entered the cave, he saw a spot where there is a place they do meditation, and there was no one there. As he walked inside, suddenly a very beautiful lady came there and just said namaste. He was astonished by her beauty. He never seen such a beautiful girl before. He thought she must be very young. But how long she has been here? He had a lot of other questions. Forgot about his original question. And he went on and asked her, "How old are you?" She said, "I'm 42." With a big smile, she left the space. He was not able to understand what has happened there. Then he realized that he had a mistake. He was actually talking to the Guruji, and he has the wrong question to the Guruji, which is not in his plan. So what I was trying to convey with this story is that we all have a preconceived notion. That is one of the important aspect in active listening. We shouldn't have any preconceived notion. Here in this case, the person assumed that Guruji is always a male. That's how we've been taught. He never expected a lady to be a Guruji there. Secondly, he didn't listen to people who were telling outside. They said the Guruji doesn't like any people around. He's doing meditation alone. Maybe my reference might be he or she, it could be. So he didn't listen that. So it is very important to listen carefully and avoid distractions as well. Go with the purpose, listen with the purpose, seek the answer from the questions you ask for. As I mentioned about the curiosity and asking questions, the most important part, what I learned here is we need to have passion. We need to develop passion. It could be anything which is your interest of. Someone might be interested in photography, but doesn't mean you're taking a formal education on photography. You're into computer applications, but still you can develop passion in computer applications as well. The more you're curious, the more questions you have, the more answers you seek for, and the more passion you will develop. I want to make an important quote of Albert Einstein here. "I have no special talent, I'm only passionately curious." You need to be very curious. Ask questions and develop passion. If you watch, all these three are interrelated. The more passionate you are, the more curious you'll be. The more curious you'll be, the more questions you'll have. It's a cycle. These three will definitely bring you happiness. When I said this, the very important thing I learned from my career in my previous company, I did a lot of mistakes. Be it the job or in personal life, I made a lot of mistakes. But the most important aspect is we have to learn from this mistake. Some mistakes are very costly, where I have, in software terms, I missed deliverables. I gave a wrong patch to customers, ended up losing huge revenue. But still, those lessons have taught me a lot so that I don't repeat such mistake again. Because to her is human. But if the rubber wears out before the pencil, then we are overdoing it. Don't repeat the same mistake again and again. But there's nothing wrong about doing mistakes. If you do a mistake, learn from it. The earlier you do mistake and the earlier you learn, the more knowledge and experience we will gain. This is what I learned from my experience. And most importantly, don't regret for the mistake. It might be a costly mistake, might be very personal as well. Sometimes we have to regret, but not all the mistakes need to be regretted. If it's related to money, yeah, you can ignore it. Go ahead, you are learning out of it. The next point I wanted to mention here is when I talked about curiosity, passion, and asking questions, the most important thing here is we need to apply our common sense. I would like to give a small story with related to common sense. It's again a Swamiji related story. Uh, I want to be very specific. I'm not going to be talk anything religious here. Just a story it is. There was once a guy in an ashram. He believed in whatever his guru said. He's very obedient to his guru. He follows exactly what he says. One of the primary teaching of the guru is that God is common. What he means by that is God is everywhere. God is in everyone. God is in me. God is in you. God is in the trees, animals, plants. God is everywhere. And if you pray to Him in the right sense, He will definitely help you. So it's beyond any religion here. He started believing what his guru said. Yes, God is common and God is everywhere. One day, when he was walking in a marketplace, he suddenly heard people crying and yelling and running from this place, and he couldn't figure out what is happening. Later, he realized there is a elephant which got mad, and the person, a mahot, the elephant caretaker, who is also sitting on the elephant, and is shouting at people, "Run away! This elephant has gone mad. It might do havoc here. It might stamp you. Just get out of this place." He was shouting at people, and people are running around. But this guy, having believing about his guru's word that God is common, he thought, why don't I pray to the God and the elephant? The God and the elephant will listen to me and will not do any harm to me. So he started praying to the God and the elephant. Oh God, please save me. Don't disturb me in any way or don't harm me anyway. But poor elephant didn't know anything about this. It hit him and he broke his bones and he was taken care later. Later, the Guruji came to meet him to ask him what happened. This guy was very angry at his Guru. He said, I don't believe in you. You told God is common. But I prayed to the God and the elephant. You also told God will answer to your prayer. But the God and the elephant didn't answer to me. And it made me to this level where I am bedridden now. The Guruji said, my son, I still say God is common, but common sense is not common. You should have applied your common sense on which part of the God you have to listen to. Instead of praying to the God and the elephant, had you listened to the God in the Mahot who is shouting at you, the God in him is trying to help you, trying to save you. Had you listened to that God, you would have been saved. God is speaking in all forms. It's your common sense you need to apply. The God is still common, but common sense is not common. The reason I'm giving this story here is when I said we need to ask questions, when I said we need to be passionate, encourage yourself, be curious. When you apply all this at point in time, you need to be very vigilant. You need to apply your common sense, which is right and which is wrong. What is right for me may not be right for you. What I am speaking now could have applied to my experience, but you guys are with the latest generation, the latest gadgets. It might, some might apply, some might not apply. So you need to apply your common sense. You solve my learnings or my mistakes accordingly to your lifestyle. But with all this, what I've learned, I keep repeating this. You need to be curious. You need to ask questions. Be passionate. The next most important thing, which I didn't put in a slide, I want to mention verbally here that we need to be honest. As I rightly mentioned in the beginning of the speech, I'm a big fan of Swami Vivekananda and Dr. Abdul Kalam. They have they had a very strong belief and faith on youth, youngsters like you. The more honest you are, more strong nation we will have. First of all, when I say honesty, it need not be you go and show it to others. Honesty should be something within yourself. The one simple exercise I follow and might be useful to you as well is that when you're all alone in a room, in a closed door, when you're sure that no one is watching you, you're all alone, just start observing your thoughts. What you think at that time is what you are. You can then go ahead and decide: Am I good? Am I have to? Am I have to be more precise, or do I have to change myself? Do I have to improve myself? It's all the questions, as I mentioned about questions. It's all the self-inquiry questions you should have yourself, and based on that, you need to try to be honest for yourself, because you only know about you. No one else will know about you. The more honest you are within, then you'll be more honest to the society. And then be sincere with whatever you do, with a lot of convictions. Others may not have hope on you, may not believe in you, but if you have strong faith on yourself and belief in yourself, do it in silence. Let's not go and announce them what you're going to do. Let's do it in silence and show them the result. Until then, we need to be patient. The patience is very important in life. So, just to summarize what I wanted to convey here, education never stops with college. We need to stop learning, continue to read throughout our life. Even it could be a personal life, it could be in office life. We need to keep learning ourselves. Education is never ending, so we need to make it comfortable for us, make it enjoyable for us. And this education need not be from books. You need not, with the technology what we have, we not read from books. We can learn from videos, speeches, learn from the nature, whatever we see, observe people and learn from them. You have plenty of resource to learn. One thing I always feel jealous about younger generations is I'm also happy that you have a big resource, learning resource here. If you have any questions, in my childhood, if I have a question, I had to go and ask my father or any expert whom I think and wait for their answer. And if they know they will answer, or they have to read or say, or I may not get answer immediately. But now you don't need to listen to any of these lectures. You can, if you want, you can put on mute, switch off the camera, or you can listen offline, or you can listen a better speech as well. You have plenty of resource to learn. As of now, Google, Wikipedia are the best teachers now. And all we can do as a speaker, what I can do is I can just only enable you to learn. I need not go and teach you what. I can just give you directions where to go, and destination is with you. So please choose wisely, choose a technology wisely, learn wisely, and do it with passion, and as my first principle, don't worry about other things. Be happy in life. Happiness is very important throughout your life. The more happy you are, the more healthy you will be. The more healthy your mind will be, more healthy your body will be. Stay happy, and thank you to the people who gave me this opportunity. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. If we get a chance, I will be happy to meet you in person and talk to you more. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your very inspirational talk. And I would like to thank you on the behalf of Department of Computer Application for igniting our young minds. Sir, your talk was in a 1 hour talk. You have taken almost all span of life. It was a combination of technology, spirituality, and real life examples. Really, it was really very inspiring, sir. And uh, thank you so much, sir, for your valuable talk, sir. With your kind permission, if you permit me, shall we maybe ask 2 or 3 questions that has been asked from students?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if I have an answer, I'll give you.
Sir, certainly, sir. One student, actually, one question from one student from B.C.A first year, he's asking how to stay motivated during study, how to be always motivated.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned about curiosity. Be curious. Learn more questions. Try to learn things. I could put it this way. Sometimes the reading books might be more boring. Even I had the same issue. I don't want to read books at all. The best example I could say is when I joined HCL. I just want to correct you. You mentioned about my 15 years in the current company. Prior to this, I was working in HCL for 8 years. That is where I learned a lot. There, I had the same issue. I had to read a book. They had a project. I need to learn on Java, enterprise Java beans, which was new to me. I was not a software background, but learning a new technology was difficult for me. But it was a big subject, and they gave me a book by Ed Drummond, is an author. It's a very huge book. I was uh, wondering, like, how do I read this such a huge book? How do I motivate myself to read this? But I was taught by someone, okay, on how to read books as well. That's one of the motivation I had. Is you don't need to read line by line, word by word in all the books. First, try to understand the concept. Just understand what you want to learn. You don't need to buy heart something and go and put it on computer. You have the book with you. You have to start programming with the book. So try to have a pointers where you want to. So the whole fear of reading the book, the big book, has gone for me, and that has motivated me to go and refer to pointers whenever we need books. So as and when we go with the education, this will be useful for the students here also. By the time you finish the college, the technology would have upgraded. You'll be having a very new technology. Right now, we have whatever in artificial intelligence or machine learning program. You'll be getting more new technologies, and you have to learn those technologies to survive. Or I would use the word live. I don't want to use the word survive, to live in the company. So you need to find a way where you it motivates you and keeps you happy to learn. The best motivation is to enjoy reading. Okay, enjoy learning. I don't want to say reading. Enjoy learning. So, as the one example I said, if you like a mobile phone, just be curious to know what is there inside the mobile phone. Suppose if you do a mistake of breaking the phone, don't worry about it. You have the regret. Yes, now it's an expensive phone. You can open it and see what is there inside the phone. What are the processors they have? What are the chips they have? So, what are the technologies they are adapting here? Just have more curious mind. As again, I'll say, only curiosity will motivate you a lot. Observe everything, be curious. That will definitely be a self motivation. And for me personally, I'll say the one of the biggest motivator from my childhood was Swami Vivekananda, and then came other big leaders. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was one of the biggest motivational leader for me. And as I said, I'm not a good at reading books, but I've gone through most of his speeches and videos. That is enough for me to learn, right? It not be books. So you need to find a way for self motivation and be curious and be passionate on whatever you do. You'll definitely get motivation. If you don't need, take a break, watch whatever you like. You can learn from whatever the latest videos as well. Then uh, come back to your studies or whatever you want. So usually this question will be like motivation on studies only, right? How do you motivate? So my simple answer could be curious, be passionate.
Thank you so much, sir, for a very nice answer. Hope the doubt of the student being clarified. Sir, as you mentioned in your talk, that a student, being a student, we should learn from our mistake. One of our student actually he asked, sir, if we did some mistake, actually, our own society, our family members, even our own parents started opposing us. Actually, how to deal this situation, sir?
Okay, that's a good question. I come across this. If you do a mistake, I don't know whether students will understand this joke. Like they'll say, suppose if you forget, it is most appropriate for married people. If you forget, if you want to remember your anniversary date, forget it once. Definitely, you'll remember next time. Uh, there are consequences of mistakes. Of course, there are consequences of mistakes, but I'm not talking about the consequence here. We should be strong enough to face the consequence. You will be getting blown up by relatives. I had the same issue also in my college days. When after I finishing my engineering, in the '96, I was jobless for almost 1 year. I joined in HCL as a trainee in the year '97. After learned few software courses, I was being I was being criticized, scolded by people. Why I'm wasting time? I spent money on education. I'm not going for a job, not earning money. But still, I need to bear with it, right? So if I make a decision, whether it's right or wrong, I have to follow. So criticism will be there. But what I was trying to say in the mistakes, I said that we don't do mistakes by knowingly. The mistakes are usually unknown mistakes. It happens unknowingly. I can give a example of how I came up with this concept of doing mistakes and accepting mistakes. In my college, as I mentioned, I was studying in SRM Indian College. The head of the department, his name, I still remember his name. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's no more now, but his name is Venkat Ratnam. He was a retired HOD from IIT Madras at that time. Like, so he was very inspirational, very motivational for us. He was very old at that time, but still, he never be like a professor to us. Like he gives us a lot of tips and tricks in the college days. So one good thing he mentioned told me about is when we are coming out of electrical lab. Okay, we used to have the electrical lab where you have the AC motors, DC motors. There are a lot of test labs we have inside. He used to tell us like by the end of the college, you should at least blow one fuse in the lab. But doesn't want to say this in front of all the students are in the classroom because it is against college principle. But he told me, he was keep telling me that if you don't blow the fuse once, you are not learning electrical engineering. You have to do mistakes. But so also, when you have to pay fine for it, you go and pay fine for it. I will not going to vouch for you. So this is the biggest lesson he taught me. This is a known mistake I'm talking about. There are a lot of unknown mistakes, but the lessons we learned will be really, really helpful for us to not repeat that mistake again in future. So nothing wrong. We have to face our criticism for it because, as I said, don't we need not tell them what we are going to do later. Our results in future will show them what you have learned and what you have achieved. After all, I don't believe in the word success also here because it's a relative term to each people. Each one thinks earning money is success, making more building more houses is success, and some believes
Sir, 15 minutes.
just sitting and watching TV is success. So it's different. But you proceed, you keep doing, but don't do non mistakes. When you have to come through mistake, please face the consequence, but don't forget the lesson. You would have learned the lesson. That's a very good lesson. The more you do it in the young age, it will be a lesson for you to teach to your next generation kids also. So don't worry about it. Just face it. We are all young. You can accept scolding from your parents also. Nothing wrong. After all, your parents, right? I don't know. I hope I answered people.
Thank you so much, sir. Students are get highly motivated with your kind words, sir. Students are highly motivated, and so many questions are coming, sir. I would like to take this privilege, sir. May we take one or two short questions, sir, with your kind permission?
No, yes, absolutely. I'm okay to answer. Yeah.
Sir, only two questions, short questions. Shall I take?
Yeah, you sure. You can
Okay,
ask
sir.
me. No issues. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. One student actually is asking, sir, how to overcome from the fear of failure, sir.
Ah, it's a good question. Um, you have to first get the fear first, right? You have to survive. My mantra here would be when something happens. Okay, this is about succeeding and failing is a different story. We are because we are expecting success there. I could give you this example. What I've seen in college days, people get motivated. People who are already failed in life. There are I came across some of my friends who struggle to clear certain exams. Usually, this is what mindset of any student here. And he feels very demotivated. And looking at him, we also get this fear. But let's see that as a lesson, right? It's a very important quote can take from Swami Vivekananda. Like, if you're going to succeed, you'll be successful. If you're going to fail, you will learn lesson again, right? That's not a fear. Right? You're learning a lesson. It's again is part of those learning cycle. So let's not worry about. Let's not fear for because there is no. I mentioned in the previous answer also like I don't believe in the word term success because it's unique to everyone. Because after achieving everything, you'll again come to same point like what I've achieved and what is the purpose of life. The example story I mentioned is also the same line only because in a Western theories there are a lot of motivational theories. Maybe people they're too young to go through it. It's we covered in MBA classes also. There are a lot of motivational theories like Heisenberg theory, X5 theories, and the very important theory is widely circulated is Maslow's theory. And the Maslow's theories have 5 steps, and the last step is always talked about self-actualization. So we don't know what we are going to achieve. The success is again defined by individuals. We are always defined by the surrounding people. So let's just slightly deviate from the definition of success. Let's change the target. If you have the fear, just change the target from rather than reaching a destination. Keep a milestone, step by step. You celebrate yourself for whatever milestone you have. So you have to get rid of fears. So just in case, I can put it the other way. If you fail once, you have an experience of failure. So you will not have the fear next time. So allow it to fail at least once.
Very truly said, sir. Very truly said, sir. Every failure is a lesson. We have to learn lessons from
Yeah.
our failures. Thank you, sir. And let me take this last question. And one question, one student is asking, sir, can you give us some tips to have a successful career in IT industry? Some mantras to have a successful IT industry, career in IT industry.
Uh, again, I'll go with the same slide, sir. Curiosity, sir. Learning, keep learning, sir. That is what I learned from here. Okay, uh, to be very specific, the more if you're not passionate in what you do, we may get bored after certain years. Okay, my total years of working experience is 23 years now. With my previous company, HCL for 8 years, and this current company, more than 15 years. So if I'm not being enthusiastic or enjoying my job, I would be bored by this time. Okay, to be successful, not just in IT, in any company, you be curious and passionate. You learn things, sir. And the best part with IT, very specifically, I should say, is that the learning opportunity is more here. Uh, the when the student is ready, the master is available. Like if you are willing to learn, there are a lot to learn here. Keep learning. Yes, it's going to give you salary for whatever job you do. It could be. I can give you a very simple example. You're working on a Java based or .NET based technology. That's what you. job is intended job is, that's what is going to pay you. Yes, you spend time on your job, you have to be loyal to what you've been paid for, and take extra hours to learn new things out of it, new technology out of it. And generally in IT, people will definitely appreciate you are making additional initiative or learning new technologies and coming up with new ideas. And this is a place where you can go and give your ideas, more ideas in the software, new ideas, and
So,
that ideas are viable, you will get recognized for it. So be curious and be passionate for it. You will be enjoying this job. I will say you'll be enjoying this job forever.
Uh, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Very truly said, sir. If a student really asks a question, the question certainly answered. Thank you
Yeah,
so much, sir, for your thought-provoking speech. Really, you touched our hearts, and your really motivational speech motivated our students. With this, we are very close to the end of today's event. And as people says, the gratitude is the best attitude. Now, let me take this opportunity to say vote of thanks for today's event. Respected dignitaries, respected faculty members, dear student, very warm good evening to all of you. As all good things comes to an end in life, so is the orientation program. On the behalf of management and BCA department, I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks of today's event. I would like to thank the people who are directly and indirectly contributed to make this event success. At this outset, I would like to thank our chief guest and resource person, Mr. S. Lakshminarayanan, for an excellent, motivational, and thought-provoking speech. Thank you so much, sir. We are very pleased to have you in this event, sir, and we would like to have a more interaction with you in future, sir.
definitely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for igniting our young minds of our departments. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence, sir. I would like to thank all of our academic fraternity for their enthusiastic support in today's event. A special thanks to organizing committee, teaching and non-teaching staff members of our department for their support and coordination. Last but not least, I would like to say heartful thanks to our students for their active participation. With these warm words and kind messages, and with the advance wishes of Happy Teachers' Day to all the people who are in academic fraternity, we move to the end of today's event. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.